Hey, it's Tommy Chiabra. Welcome to the Millionaire Student Show with Sashin.
Yeah, check it out, man. This is your boy Akon, and right now you're tuned in to the Millionaire Student Show with my man, Sashin Govender.
Yo, it's Rich the Kid on the Millionaire Student Show.
Hi, I'm Ariani Celeste, and you're tuning in to the Millionaire Student Show.
What's up, y'all? Tune into the Millionaire Student Show with Andy Milanakis.
Yo, this your boy Soldier Boy. You tuned into the Millionaire Student Show with Sasha. Keep it locked right here.
We're on the Millionaire Student Show with Sashin Govender, and today's guest is Tommy Chiabra. And is it correct pronunciation?
Correct.
Yeah.
Very Italian.
So yeah, trying to get that Italian on.
You got it.
Tommy's from Italy, born and raised out there, living in Monaco. We're going to talk about super yachts because he owns his own yacht brokerage in Europe and the Caribbean. We're going to be talking about self-made and self-paid, inspiration, motivation. So, Tommy out here, for the people who don't know who you are and what your background is, if you can just quickly take us through a short, brief outline.
Okay, I'm Italian, as you well mentioned. I born and raised in Genoa, a little town in Italy, and then I moved in my early age in Milan. I needed an international place and town to start off my ambitions, and I studied there, and then I grow my businesses from a young age, from I was 18 in Milan, and then I moved to Monte Carlo. I started in the yachting space, as you well said. I built what is today the leading brokerage firm in the mega yacht industry, and I today diversify my businesses in various sectors, as mining, in food and beverages, services industry, commodities, tech funds, and all sorts of investment and industries.
So it all started off with the yachting industry.
Yes, correct.
And what inspired you to create your own brokerage?
Well, I was always an admirer of luxury, okay? Yeah. And I always seen in the luxury space, obviously a lot of, revenues and a lot of opportunities for professional people and businesses. So I started as a supplies company for the yachting, because I after a quick research, I found out that whatever gets supplies into a yacht is extremely overpriced. So I thought to offer a better product to the yachting industry. And coming from that area, it was very easy to set up a company and a business there. As I earlier told you, after just 1 year, I sold that company and I invested into a brokerage firm, because the brokerage, I did an analysis on real estate, jet, art, and yachting, and I found out that yachting is actually the most profitable in terms of revenues and fees in the luxury transactions and brokerage. So we started a brokerage company. We set up our first offices out of Genoa, where I'm originally from. We quickly moved in Monaco, which is the capital of the yachting, where all the yachting industry is based. And we are today in multiple countries. We have offices in London, in Turkey, in Hong Kong, in Russia, in Dubai, in United States, Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami, and we are the #1 dealers in this mega yacht space.
So behind the cameras we talked, and most people, when they look at someone at your age, at 30 odd years old and very successful, very ambitious, you would think your parents were successful, and you just leveraged of what your parents have created. Talk to me about your background with regards to finances.
I mean, my parents were, I don't base success into capital necessarily. I base success in ambitions.
Yeah.
In ambition. So it depends how ambitious you are and what you want to achieve. So my parents, in my case, achieved what they wanted to achieve, which not necessarily is respect what I want to achieve or my lifestyle. So I always aim to a certain lifestyle, and I achieved that with my businesses and with my life. So my success.
Yeah.
with
So
respect to my
what is
parents.
it, growing up as an entrepreneur in Italy? Because, the Italian economy is the most inspiring place for young people who want to control their own destinies, but there's a lot of, old school thinking.
So unfortunately, Italy. I always compare Italy to a beautiful woman, but you don't wanna date her.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a fantastic country. Unfortunately, the economy is very, it doesn't, it's not proportional beautiful as the country. Taxes are very high, businesses are very slow. An average court case in Italy is 15 years. So imagine you have a business issue that
Yeah.
you get stuck into a very long bureaucracies. I suggest whoever does business in Italy to settle bases outside as well, as I did. I moved to Monaco and I still run successfully businesses in Italy, but myself I'm not based in Italy anymore. And I went overseas. So again, it's an economy that must be taken for what it is, and unless your business is strictly in that continent, you might want to see overseas.
So you've transitioned from, the yachting, and just not yachting, but luxury, into other businesses, other ventures out there. What are you currently into right now? So you've transitioned from, the yachting, and just not yachting, but luxury, into other businesses, other ventures out there. What are you currently into right now? What are the investments are you focusing on? What are the trends that people should look at?
So I believe that in any business you need to diversify your portfolio.
Yeah.
Okay. We live in a very, very fast economy. We live in an economy where businesses get disrupted from one day to the other. So no matter how successful is your business, you should look in other spaces and diversify the spaces continuously. So I personally invest a lot in environmental spaces, in social impact businesses, such as, for example, Beyond Meat, a company that recently invested on, which is a meatless company, completely environmental friendly. Looking forward to a new era of what is the plant-based era. I'm looking to deep green mining, for example, is mining of the ocean. We find these nodules at the bottom of the ocean that has the same amount of materials that you find under the ground. But instead of digging inside the ground and deforestation and child labors and going towards many issues, now you can find the same resources in the deep of the ocean. So I'm sort of looking forward to change and bring this change with business into a better usage of our planet.
So, two of your projects have just, done IPOs. Can you, educate the audience on what it takes for a company to go public and how you did yours?
Well, going public is a long procedure, and you need to deal with public. So when you deal with public, it's like you taking your little baby that you grow yourself, and now you expose it to the public, and you need to respond to the public continuously, 24/7. So now you yourself are public as a businessman. Okay, so I enjoyed bringing my company public with my partners, and is doing tremendously well in the Toronto Stock Exchange. But unless you really need public capital, I have most of my company private, because you can manage it as you want. You report to yourself, and there is other way to raise funds as private investment, as crowdfunding. The company that just crowdfunded and made 22 million euro in sales, which is just pre-selling the product, and that's a fantastic way to raise capital. And ultimately, if you need to raise capital public, you need to go through the public audience, the public authorities, and share your little baby with the public.
Yeah.
Which again, it's a fantastic result. Not necessarily is always needed, but if you have a solid business, looking forward to revenue, because that's the problem today. Most of the company, even going public, they are not looking forward for revenues. My philosophy is revenue making, not paper making.
Yeah.
Okay, most of the company today, I get approached by 10 companies a day which on papers are $1 billion companies, and then you see what are you making, what's your profitability, when you're making profit, when you're making money actually, when people getting paid here, and they are not even looking into profitability in the near 3 years. Okay, so first things is start to make profit, then go to raise fund, and then go public. If that's your wishes to share your company public, go ahead and do it, but make profit first.
Yeah, so your peak, was it because of going public, or was it before that?
Before that.
Before that.
Yes.
So what is also your unique angle, as an entrepreneur? I mean, what do you bring to the business world that no one else does?
It's, I think that whatever you do in life, which is, it can be business, it can be personal life, it can be sport, you need to set yourself goals and reach those goals. And that's what was my angle, and that's why I was fairly successful in all what I've done. Even in the charity space, I get into something, I put a goal, and I ride into it, and I reach the goal. So it's what drive me every day. Why I wake up and I'm motivated to reach that goal. So each company, each business, each idea I had, it was a journey. Coming from an idea of a product, of a service, of a business model, which comes, it comes to you at least a few times a week, the new idea. But then you need to take that idea and put it to practice. So many people have ideas, great ideas, and they just not put it to practice. And then you say, oh, I thought about that 10 years ago. Or what a great idea, why didn't I think about that? Because you're not putting it to practice. So just think of it, sit on it, and put it to practice, and set goals and reach that goal. That's my philosophy, and that's what drove me into my business.
What is your point of arrival where you felt like, man, I've just accomplished what I really and truly wanted to? Was it a specific company, a specific deal? What is your point of arrival where you felt like, man, I've just accomplished what I really and truly wanted to? Was it a specific company, a specific deal?
Still didn't happen. I'm still in the ride.
I love that. Yeah. So there's always room for growth.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
So you're huge in giving. I mean, I live by making a living, living and then making a living giving. And I know you're one of the biggest givers out there with UNICEF. How did that partnership come up, and what's your vision, with regards to changing the world and impacting the world?
So what happened is, I found myself, I was doing a deal back in Italy. After I moved to Monaco, I went back to Italy for a business deal, and I had to spend a couple of months there. And I had I don't have an office in Milan, so I had a little bit of time on my end, and I say, why don't I invest this time in something meaningful and charitable? So I got in contact with UNICEF through connection of mine, and then in Italy I'm known as a motivational speaker, as an entrepreneur, and I say, listen, I can put my skills into the table. So whatever you need, I'm here to help and help structure the raising fund and investing fund and the charity. So there I started really to get deeply involved into the charity. That was 4 years ago. We raised over $7 million the first year, and all what it took is just passion, and again, as my business philosophy is to set goals and reach those goals, and the journey to reach the goals was the whole motivational part. I believe that the world is, the communication expanded. Obviously, we are very connected. We have in front of us what is happening in the world. So you cannot just stand and watch. Meanwhile, maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you wouldn't be aware of certain things, a certain issue, of certain problems that we're facing in the world, such as environmental, the planet, the climate change, the refugees, the children's. Now it's so obvious. Everything's so in front of us that I believe that no one with little bit of skills cannot just sit and watch. So that's what I done. I just
make a difference, and I love the fact that you visit Africa.
Yeah, absolutely.
And made a difference out there. Let's go back to business. Are you the old school entrepreneur where you focus most of your entrepreneurial skills and businesses offline, or are you transitioning towards online e-commerce, click and order, and everything is more on the digital side?
that's very, very tailor-made on the business in the business and the industry. For to give you a quick example, in the yachting industry, I'm still the CEO of the company. There is no much technology and online development as much there is in other businesses, because it's still a service, a person-to-person, face-to-face service, so there's not much technology that been developed in that space. Meanwhile, yes, of course, in other spaces you must adapt to technology, you must adapt to the online, you must adapt to what is the trend today, which is, for example, social networks. Today you sell a social network. E-commerce, before was e-commerce, now is other platform, as you know, Amazon and all these platforms. So you need to adapt to where the technology is transitioning to, but it's really depend of the product and the business model you're following.
Great. As we speak right now, what's the next 2 to 5 years? What's the plan? What's the goal?
Well, I start 2 to 3 companies a year myself, from idea to realizations to market, and I invest in other 5-6 companies a year. So make the calculation. You know, this is my goal from 2 to 5 years. This year we're launching a new plant-based fast food. So we're realizing a completely environmental friendly fast food made of plant-based products, which are equally tasting as a normal product, but completely plant-based. And this is gonna start in Europe, and hopefully it's gonna be one of the largest chain out there into this industry. And I have a few other projects, you know, I cannot disclose now, on the same social impact, environmental sort of approach.
So I see you, I mean, you mentioned you're in the inspirational, motivational speaking world. How big is personal development to you? How big is it in the sense of to psych yourself up, having the right type of mindset, keeping yourself positive, you know, on most occasions? Are you big into personal development? Do you read a lot? Do you watch a lot of videos or listen to a lot of audios?
I do. Actually, I do. I started to do sport with motivational speaking in my ear instead of music, just recently. That's just to get inspired and exchange ideas. You know, I'm a huge believer in connection and networking, because you get to know other point of views. So just to hear new point of views is enriching yourself. So I listen a lot, I meet a lot of people, I speak to a lot of people. Even if I have a 10 minutes free time between a meeting to the other, I like to meet someone just to get an intake of new point of views, new mindsets. That's very, very important.
And you never know where that could lead as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's everything is enrich your package of knowledge and your point of views and your mindset. So that's key. Absolutely.
So I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you know, having you on the show, and hopefully sooner than later I'll be in Monte Carlo in one of your mega yachts. So once again, thank you for tuning into the Millionaire Student Show. Comment below, by the way, on who you want me to interview next. I'm traveling the world bringing the greatest minds from every different, you know, fact and pull of life: health, wealth, spirituality, and relationships. And today we had Tommy, entrepreneur, all the way from, you know, Italy, born and raised in Italy, living in Monte Carlo, and now we're in Los Angeles. Thank you for your time. Thank you for tuning in. Catch you soon on the next episode. We're on the Millionaire Student Show with Alyssa Goodman, and author of Cancer Hacks, Holistic Guide to Overcoming Your Fears and Healing Cancer.